Hey, Flimsy here, and welcome to World of Warships. As today we're going to be doing a Q&A video for our Monday video today. So I'm going to be having some footage playing in the background. I haven't picked it out yet, but wanted to go ahead and do the audio recording to the questions. It's been a while since I've done my last Q&A. I want to do one maybe at least once a month is kind of what I was thinking. And the last time I've done one was like beginning of December, I think, or December sometime. And now it's already April, so apologies for that. But in the Q&A, I threw it up on my Discord and tagged everyone, pinged everyone, and then threw a community post up on YouTube. So I like to try to give 5 days notice, but things have been really crazy. I've been really busy with different conferences I've been traveling to, and I haven't been playing the game very much this past week. As it were. So we're here, and I'm going to go through the 2 questions I have on YouTube first. I'm going to go through the Discord. I was actually surprised how many questions you guys asked that was not World of Warships related. But that is perfectly fine because it can be World of Warships related or non-World of Warships related. So looking at the comments here, this doesn't seem to be so much of a question. It seems to be more of an I don't know. It says by Aaron Hellscythe, if I'm pronouncing that one correctly. DD guide, aiming guide. I'm assuming you're asking if I can do a destroyer guide and an aiming guide. I'm currently on a Casta, but horrendous gun arcs, also even in close range DD fight. I had to lead so much. I'm pretty okay in aiming, but not perfect. So in terms of a destroyer guide, I do have I think I have 1 or 2. I have a video on, I think it's 6 tips, 6 skills for destroyers, and I can maybe throw that in the comments, pin it in the comments or something in this video, or you can just search on my video. But 6 I see as important skills for destroyers to have. In terms of an aiming guide, I don't have anything on that. It really, you get more into more details depending on what ship we're talking about. We're talking about destroyers, cruisers, battleships. Are we talking about ships that have a high shell velocity, very fast travel time, or something of a slower travel time? Are we talking about ships that can go 55 knots? Are we talking about ships that can go 20 knots? So there's a lot of different things you have to go off of in terms of aiming guide. I'm assuming iChase would have something up from olden days. I don't know if I'd get to that soon because I have a lot of other videos I'm trying to get out right now as I'm behind. But it depends on the tier you're playing. It depends on the class of ship. So I don't know if I can really help you there on that one. But I do have some destroyer videos up, and I try to talk through more of my destroyer play. Taker Bricks ask, how often does it snow in Norway? For those of you who do not know, I am an American who lives in the southwest coast of Norway. In Tanker, the answer to your question is a lot. On the coast here, we get a lot of rain on the southwest coast, so the jet stream coming in. But you go about 45 minutes inland from the coast where I'm living at, and it just turns into snow. The mountains, there's constant snow. Central northern Norway, I mean, even eastern Norway. So it snows a lot. I mean, it can be anywhere. I mean, maybe someone who's more Norwegian can answer this if I'm speak incorrectly here. But see, August, September, maybe October, November, snow starts and then goes up all the way to May, especially in the north, from my understanding. So that is all I can answer in terms of that question. Now, on the Discord server, I gotta go to the beginning. Doom Beagle asks, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? So I would say, what do you mean, African or European swallow? For those of you who don't know, Doom Beagle is my NA server clan commander. Flimsy, could you make a tournament? This is asked by Hanmit Hut. Yes, I think I got that one right. Could you make a tournament like 5 versus 5 or something? Yes, I could. It probably wouldn't be till sometime June or July. before I could get to it. We could do something on in training room. We can do something like this. Maybe I could stream it via YouTube. I'm not getting into streaming. If I did stream, it would be once, max twice a month. I prefer doing a lot of my content on YouTube and doing the videos and playing the game. And I have enough other things going on in my life that I don't have time for Twitch streaming, because I quite enjoy the work and things that I do. And I don't Twitch stream because I don't stream for money, because I have a job. So I prefer it that way. But yeah, I can look to maybe we can do something in June or July. I'll have to sit down and look. I need to figure out a little bit of what it looks like to perhaps stream on YouTube. Japlander asks, do you like snow? Yes, I do like snow. In Norway in the summertime, I'm getting to your question, it gets to, well, where I'm out on the southwest coast, around 75s. It can sometimes get up 80 degrees Fahrenheit. For those that I'm still learning the metric system, so Celsius, what is that, like 18, 19 degrees Celsius, 20? Something like that, I think. But I really like it when it's warm, not like Indiana humid heat. I come from Indiana in the US. But I do like snow. I'm sad that I live on the coast and it's mostly rain and then go 45 minutes in and then there's the snow. Because if it's cold, I prefer there to be snow. Do you like boats in real life? Japlander asks again. Yes, I do like boats in real life. I've been on several. I've been on the USS Alabama in Gulf Shores, Alabama when I was younger. Maybe I can even throw a picture up on the screen or something of being at that ship. I was really young, maybe like 10 or 12. And then I have been in Evansville, Indiana. They have the LST-325. I think, was it landing ship transport? Landing ship tank transport, because it carried tanks and vehicles on it. And it's one of the few, or maybe it's the only operational LST left from World War II. And they made a lot of those LSTs in Evansville, Indiana. So kind of hence why they have it in port there on the river. I think they actually moved locations since I last seen it to where the casino used to be, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I like visiting boats in real life, even taking some of the fjord cruise boats here in Norway, and seeing some of the different naval warships that come in here into port. As I live in Stavanger. So they have a NATO exercise. We had 3 different warships come downtown, and apparently a drunk Norwegian climbed up on one of them and was taken into custody because the bars are just basically next door. So that was rather amusing. So I got to go down and see some of those ships. So I do like boats in real life. Do you enjoy outdoor activities? He's got a couple questions here. Yes, hiking. Actually, last night, I'm recording this video on Friday. Last night, Mrs. Flimsy and I went out Aurora Boreal chasing, because you can see the Aurora Boreals all the way down here in Stavanger. If the KP index is high enough, if the solar winds are high enough, if the solar wind density is high enough, right measurements. I'm still learning all the scientific terminology for that, but that's fun to go out. I've got some pictures actually from our apartment window of some northern lights 2 weeks ago. So that was really cool. So I do enjoy outdoor activities, swimming, hiking, fishing, hunting, kayaking. Yeah, it's all good. Other games you play? Right now there's only 2 other games I play. For my stress reliever, if I just want to relax and not deal if I've had a bad day, or I just don't want to deal with the player base, as it were. Sometimes when you get people pretty salty, or just a really bad night of just losing random matches back to back to back, I like playing Farming Simulator 2019. I was very much a country boy growing up, so it's fun playing that game. I play it a couple times a week. Other than that, I play Command & Conquer Red Alert, the remastered edition. Those are really the only, outside of World of Warships, those are really the only 3 games I play right now. Hanmit Hut ask, can we have some Red Commander again? I'm assuming you're referring to the Command and Conquer Red Alert. I mean, we can see. Most of the people here, when I tried that out for a month, most people were more interested in World Warships content. If I did some Red Alert videos again, it would probably be more around summertime or wintertime when I have some more free time on my hands. So, yeah, maybe. I can't give you a solid answer, but maybe once in a while we can throw one in. He also asked, what PC do you have? I have, let me pull it up here. I have an Apex gaming PC. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend the company. I don't know enough about it. I've ordered this PC back in the fall of 2020. I have their Apex Platinum PC line. So in terms of what CPU I have on it, I have the Intel i5-9600K. What is the other one? GPU. I have the GTX 1660 Ti, and then the RAM is a 32 gigabyte DDR4-3200 megahertz. So I'm assuming what that means. I got it on. They were doing a sale, and then the reason why I found out about Apex Gaming PCs is I was checking out a little bit of some videos from this guy who does YouTube videos on Farming Simulator, and he is one of their partners or recommends it, and you can use his name to get a further discount. So basically they had a sale, and then I stacked a discount on top, so it was 20-30% off the PC in total, which was super nice. So I got a lot cheaper. So, I mean, the PC's done well. I've not had actually any issues with it since I've purchased it. Now over almost 2.5 years ago. It's been running fine. I have Norton on my PC, so I run system scans and clean it out, try to give it proper maintenance. So it's nice. It's worked fine. It's actually my first gaming PC I've ever had. I've usually always been a laptop guy. So I think the next PC I get, I want to build it myself because I would like to learn, and I have a Norwegian friend who's really good at it, and have him help me out on that. If we're talking more about my setup, you can find it in my YouTube video description. A lot of my outside of my monitor, it's an Asus VG248QE gaming monitor, 24-inch, and then my microphone, I like the HyperX Quadcast. But then pretty much everything else I have is Razer. I've really enjoyed their products thus far, although their microphones, in my opinion, are crap. In some of their stuff can be expensive, but I've had multiple Razer keyboard, mouse, headsets for over 2 years, and they've been working just fine for me. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's go on down. Forgotten Void asks, how cold is too cold for you? This probably just depends on person to person, naturally, but for myself, and you're asking for myself, because I'm trying to buy time as I think about an answer. Honestly, I don't like when it gets beneath 40 degrees Fahrenheit. What, Celsius? That's what, 5 degrees Celsius, 6 degrees, something like that. I like 50s or mid 40s and higher is my preference, but if you get beneath 40s, it begins to get too cold. And living in Indiana, we've had it all the way down to negative 40 Celsius in the wintertime when I was in college in northern Indiana, and that was brutal. Negative 40 Celsius is like the same as negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit with wind chill. Definitely too cold, but I really don't like anything beneath freezing unless I'm bundled up. If wargaming, oh, this is a really good question actually. If wargaming was to suddenly go offline permanently, what would be your next go-to game options? Now, it's funny you ask that because I've been thinking about that recently. I mean, when we had the CC Exodus back in the summer, fall of last year, you began to see a lot of World of Warships YouTube content creators who began to branch out and play other games and incorporating it into their channel. So if the worst should come, they would have an active audience already enabled. I think what Flambast, like he does, what is the name of the Takarov? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It's I think a first-person shooter game. Mr. Gibbons does some others. But for myself, I've been thinking about this question because when I saw that, when I read the dev blog of we are going to test stun bomb mechanics and the fact that stun bombs can be stacked, meaning you could be over 30 minutes without being able to use your damage control party, among other things it caused with support carriers, I was like, you gotta be joking me. Like really, this is an absolute joke. Why are they even testing this? Because to me, that's really stupid. If I'm being honest, it would probably be something more like a strategy war game, something like Command and Conquer Red Alert. I really like strategy games. Another game I really liked was playing Empire Earth. Really loved that game, like back the early 2000 one. I have to look because I know there's several Empire Earths, but I really enjoy those games, the strategy. So probably it would be something like Empire Earth, something like Command and Conquer. I don't think I really would want to mess with Farming Simulator. To me, it's more for myself, and I think there's a lot of great YouTubers doing a fantastic job already, whether it be simulation of role playing, if you will, or just like getting into the details, nitty gritty. That doesn't excite me enough, so it'd be something probably like a strategy game, Empire Earth, Red Alert, Command and Conquer. If you know of a really good strategy game like that, just throw it in the comments. I'm interested to know. That would be nice to know, so I can know what else is out there. I haven't looked too much into the gaming market on those type of games lately. Keep going down here. If you Doombeagle ask a really good question. If you have to choose between bobbing for pit vipers or watching an award show, which do you pick? If you give me the option for an award show, I would say, like, if I can choose what I'm watching, I would say award show. So hear me out, let me finish. It would be something like the Country Music Awards or the American Music Country Awards, however you say that. I quite enjoy it. I mean, I really like listening to country music a lot. For some reason, I've been on a very strong George Strait kick lately. So yeah, if I'm able to pick, I would say watching award show. I would pick, if I'm able to choose country music awards show, then I would, watching the award show. If you're gonna make me watch something like the Oscars or something like that, definitely bobbing for pit vipers any day of the week. More entertaining too, Midnight Phoenix writes. Trapper asks, what are your thoughts on Tier 11 being added to the game? Well, Wargaming would disagree with you because they call them super ships, but I would agree with you in saying that they are Tier 11 ships being added to the game. I mean, it makes... when I'm thinking about the things that Wargaming does, I try to view it through their lens and perspective, and sometimes I can't understand it at all. But other times I do get it. What makes a gaming company, what helps set them apart, is if they're pumping out content constantly in their game. Wargaming is really good at pumping out content on a consistent basis. It's really hard I would say, if you have a lot of the ships in the game because they're trying to throw things into the game, like grinding for new research bureau ships, steel ships, all those types of things. So they keep you into it. But how they go about implementing certain things, I question greatly. So when you have these super ships or Tier 11 ships, if you notice, a lot of these ships are more post-World War II ships, more, and then almost getting into Cold War ships. Like Forrest Sherman, And then you have these Russian ships. Well, we don't have a tier 11 ship yet outside of Petropavlovsk, which is supposed to be tier 10. So, the tier 11 version of Petropavlovsk will be more like a tier 12 ship. I would be fine with it if Wargaming would structure it in different gaming battle modes. So, when they first introduced the Satsuma in Hanover, I and several other people were saying that these ships are going to permanently arrive in the game as part of your ship collection, because there was a bug where it showed those 2 ships as being a part of the ship count. So right then I knew, they're going to add these into the game and probably more ships down the line. And when they first added the Satsuma and the Hanover, they did this game battle mode called Grand Battles. And so basically, I think it was only tier 10 ships and the Hanover and Satsuma. I don't think they had tier 9 ships. So that was fun because you faced those super ships in this different game mode, Grand Battles. When they first brought, I'm adding some other input in here. When they added submarines, when they first introduced them into the game for the player base to play, they introduced it in a different battle mode called Submarine Battles. And so I've noticed there's this trend, if they want to force something into the player base, like submarines, hey, let's do a battle mode first for that, and then to get the actual testing results we need, we actually need to do this in randoms, because the public test server doesn't mean anything to us when it comes to testing things. So then they go ahead and then they end up putting in randoms, and then they brought the super ships into the game, and then they added more super ships, and hey, we actually need to test these ships in randoms. If Wargaming wants to go more post World War II ships into Cold War and God forbid missiles eventually, I would say they need to do a different game battle mode. So leave super ships out of random battles and make it, you can call it grand battles, you can call it super battle, super ship battles, you can call it post World War II battles. I mean, I don't know what you want to call it, but I would say I would be much more comfortable with it being put into a different game mode. I mean, if Wargaming just straight out and said, hey, these are actually tier 11 ships, it opens the door for them to then later on, hey, maybe we do tier 12, we do tier 13, we do tier 14, rather than just calling them super ships, because then it's like they cap themselves, and then the player base gets really frustrated with them when they change their wording on things. When you think tier 10's the ceiling, and then Wargaming's like, hold my beer, tier 11 ships. So my thoughts on it being added to the game, I wish they would just keep them in a separate battle mode. Wargaming has a hard time with player retention. They focus on recruiting new players all the time, and they keep burning a lot of bridges, I think, in my opinion, with the player base. So I think I'm fine with tier 11 being added, but me personally, I would like to have these super ships in their own game mode, because the thing is, now that we've gotten, when you go up from tier 1, playing these ships is pretty simplistic, right? You get to tier 5, tier 6, you still, it's pretty straightforward. Then you get into tier 7, tier 8, you start to get radar. You get carriers that have more of these special abilities in the tier 6, tier 4 carriers, and then tier 8 to tier 10, and then you're getting into a lot of these gimmicks. Wargaming doesn't like it being called gimmicks. I'm calling it gimmicks. You guys know what I mean when I say gimmicks, like the main battery reload booster and then the increased volley, the greater accuracy that you get out Satsuma. I'm just trying to think of even Research Bro ships or steel ships. But there's these more gimmicks, and then it's not as an enjoyable experience because whoever has the most gimmicks has a better chance of winning, so to speak. But then you have players who are playing these super ships, or they were with the tokens, and you can have someone who's plays tier 4, tier 5, and then they hop into a super ship and just immediately die in their ship at the start of the battle. So it's good that Wargaming's like, when they're going to add them to the tech tree, that you have to actually have the tier 10 ship of that line and it's very expensive in credit, so that means new players can't just hop into a super ship right at the beginning, so I will give Wargaming credit for that. But I've been increasingly enjoying playing Tier 6 and Tier 5 lately, just because I get away from the gimmicks and it's just more straightforward gameplay. Show broadside, you get punished. If you don't pay attention to destroyer on your flank, you eat his torpedoes, so on and so forth. Let's see, are there other questions? No, I think that actually covers all the questions. Outside of Forgotten Void saying, Super Petro win, autoloading Stellenium rounds win. Oh gosh. I can't imagine a tier 11 Petropavlovsk, I'm sorry. But hey, they just nerfed the Petropavlovsk, right? It's what, 1 meter, 2 meters further out of the water? I don't remember what the nerf was, so yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this Q&A. I'm glad that I was able to keep it underneath 30 minutes. That was the goal. So we'll look to do another Q&A probably end of April, beginning of May. And I will do my best to give a little bit more of time, advance warning that I'm going to do a Q&A for those of you who may have really wanted to hear my thoughts or opinions on questions you have in mind. So look for that the end of April, or beginning of May, me throwing that up for you to see, and I can answer your questions. So if you liked today's Q&A, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you here next time. Take care.